Oh my gosh.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Worthy Prince coming at ya with another Lords Mobile video. First of all, before I get started, just want to say Happy New Year to everyone. Hope you have a great 2018, guys, I really do. Okay, in this video today we're going to be answering a question, which is, what is better, attack or defense? Now, this is something I get asked pretty much every day or every other day. I'm sure at some point someone's asked you, and at some point you probably asked someone else. Now, there is a lot of gear choices to choose from in the game, and you know, you want to make the right choices. You don't want to waste your materials, you don't want to equip your gems to gear that's going to waste more gems trying to remove them if you've done the wrong thing. So, you know, making that right choice is essential from the start of the game, you know, when you start making your gear. And we basically set up an experiment to answer that question today. So let's just get straight down to this, guys. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty and tell you exactly how this works on a stat point of view, okay? So we set up an experiment, and this experiment was basically, I put a camp of 10,000 archers, T1, with a hero in my standard war gear, okay? Nothing special, just standard war gear. And on the first attack, I was going to boost myself with a 20% defense boost. Now, my good friend King, who's another R4 in our guild, was the attacker on this particular experiment, and he sent 1,000 T3 infantry into my camp. Let's take a look at the result number one, okay? This is with the 20% defense boost. So we can see here that King had 238 soldiers dead, he had 357 soldiers wounded, and on my side I had 1,121 troops in bed, okay, having a sleep, having a night-night. Now, if you want to make a note of those numbers now, you can do, but I have already done it, so I will give you the answers at the end. But if you want to make a note just for yourself, you're more than welcome to jot down those three figures there of wounded and dead on his side and wounded on my side, okay? Now, once this attack was done, we set the whole thing up again. The same heroes, the same troops, and just to show you the battle reports, because I want to make sure I cover everything here, you can see here that there's my archers at 10,000 and there's his 1,000 royal guards, okay? We then set up the attack again, identical. The only difference is, on this attack, I used a 20% attack boost instead of a defense boost. So everything the same, just the boost is now an attack boost in place, okay? Let's have a look at that second attack. So you can see here on his side, he had 381 wounded this time, 254 dead, and 1,096 on my side going night-night. Now, there is a little difference there. There is a little difference. On my side, I had 25 less wounded, okay? On his side, he had 24 extra wounded soldiers and 16 extra dead. Now, you may turn around and say to me, well, I don't really care about 16, Prince. Well, who cares about 16 troops? Well, no one does. I don't. But if we change the ratios of this attack to 375,000 attackers and let's say, I don't know, 1 million defenders, or maybe a bit less, but you know, the point I'm trying to make is, if you have higher numbers, the gap is going to be bigger. The higher ratio, the higher losses. So this may look like a very small amount of difference now, but when you get into the bigger numbers, it's going to be huge. It's going to be, you know, potentially a lot to heal, a lot to replace. So by doing this experiment, what we've actually discovered is that attack trumps defense on all fronts, okay? If you have a higher attack stat, you are going to kill more, you are going to wound more, and you are going to actually have less losses by having your attack stats higher, okay? So that, you know, really, really impressive stuff. And I mean, I'm really happy with the way this came out. A lot of people that focus on defense gear probably won't be too happy about it, but you know, we can't. The numbers don't lie. You know, I can give you my opinion. You know, till I'm blue in the face. I can say, hey, no, guys, come on, get your attack gear. Don't worry about defense. You know, I can tell you to do that. You know, and you can do that or you can not. You can listen or you don't. It's as simple as that. But when you've got the numbers in front of you, numbers don't lie. You know, you can see it straight there. On the defense, there's the result. On the attack, there's your result. And as you can see on all fronts, it's better. And we'll look at the battle report on the second attack, and you can see it's exactly the same. We've got the Royal Guards at 1,000 and we've got the 10,000 archers. So 2 experiments, both the same, just different boosts we use, and we got clearly different results. So when it comes to your gear, what does this mean? Well, it basically means focus on attack stats on your troops. You want to focus on army attack. That's your first thing you want to look for. Army attack, and then the troop type attacks. So your infantry, your range, and your cavalry. Don't worry about siege attack. You don't want to worry about that, okay? So let's go into the workshop and have a look at, I've got one piece of gear I'm just going to give you a demonstration on here. I'm going to do another video going into depth about war gear. It is coming soon. But just to give you an example on the back of this experiment, if we go to the main hands, I've already got it set up because I was fiddling around a minute ago. Let's go down to infantry defense, okay? So let's say you're an infantry player, you're mass producing infantry, which I wouldn't recommend for another reason, but let's just say you're building infantry, you want to focus on infantry, okay, and your argument is, well, you know, I'm going to look at a defensive piece of gear. You know, we've already worked out now that's not the way to go. Now you might look at the Terror Lash, you might put in infantry defense on your search results. These are the weapons that are going to come up, okay? And you might look at the Terror Lash, you might say, well, this looks pretty good. It's got 27% infantry attack, which is actually pretty good. Infantry defense 10%, army capacity 20%, construction speed 10%. Wow, this looks like a great piece of gear. And yeah, you know, Terror Lash is decent, I'm not knocking it. But we know attack is better than defense, so surely we can do something that's going to make our main hand better than having the Terror Lash in, because yes, we've got a decent amount of infantry attack, but we've got infantry defense and the other two taking up a lot of space. Surely there's something better we can use. Well, actually, yeah, there is. If we go to infantry attack now, instead of using infantry defense, which is up here, there we go. Okay, it's loaded. Let's go down to the bottom. Now I know it's level 60 piece of gear, guys, but you know, you'll all get to level 60 eventually, and when you do, look at this, the Frostwing Greatsword. 20% infantry attack. Okay, we lose a little bit of percentage on the infantry attack, but look what we gain. Cavalry attack 20%, ranged attack 12.5%. I can guarantee you, based off the experiment we just done, if you took an attack and you had a Terror Lash equipped, you are going to take more losses and kill less than you would do if you had a Frostwing Greatsword. Not because it's a level 60 piece of gear, not because it looks like something a White Walker would use out of Game of Thrones. No. You're going to have a better result because it's got more attack stats on the piece of gear. And one other thing to note, when it comes to making these pieces of gear, one thing that's really important is the ultra rares required. As you can see, the Frostwing Hearts is what you need for this particular weapon. It requires four Frostwing Hearts to actually do each level, okay? If we look at the Terror Lash, let's go back up. If we go back up, there we go, nearly there we go. Okay, we look at the Terror Lash, and for the Terror Lash, you need 2, which is the Terraform Seeds. Now, I understand that it's double the amount of ultra rares, but I can guarantee you it'll be worth it. And while you're waiting to get that Frostwing Sword, what I will tell you one thing what to do, and that's to build a free-to-play piece of gear, guys, called this here, there it is, look, the Fiery Tomahawk. Again, it's got the cavalry attack, the infantry attack, and the ranged attack. You know, equipped with some decent attack jewels, the Fiery Tomahawk's a decent piece of gear. And it will definitely hold you and let you keep your own until you're able to bring something out like the Frostwing Greatsword. Anyway, guys, I don't want to get too bogged down in gear, but I'm just giving you, a bit of advice on the back of that experiment to just focus on your attack. And the same thing when it comes to your jewels, put your attack jewels in your gear. Don't focus on your defense jewels because you're just not going to get as good as a result. So one other thing I want to touch on this video is that you now might be asking the question, okay, Prince, well, you've shown us that attack is better than defense, and you've shown us a piece of gear that we can look at that will do a better job than something we might already be looking at. Okay, so I've answered a couple of questions, but here's the number one big question I get after giving people these answers. Okay, so if attack's all well and good and great, what is the point in having defense in the game? Why even have it as gear? Why not just get rid of it? What's the point? What are IGG playing at? Well, I'll tell you what it is, guys. The defense gear bridges a gap between having no gear and having good attack gear. Surely it's best to have defense gear in your slot rather than having, nothing. Well, yeah, of course it is. Having some gear in slot is better than having nothing. And I think that's what it is, you know. Defense duels tend to come out a lot easier than attack duels. It's a lot easier to build defensive gear in the workshop compared to decent attack gear. So, you know, for people that are not on the game as much, for someone that doesn't really want to have to forage too much for materials, you know, maximum effort, so to speak, they can build some defense gear and it will do a job, you know, it will do a job. But it's not something you want to focus on if you're going to get hardcore with this game and start, you know, really attacking people and wanting to take decent attacks and doing a good job on things. You want to focus on your attack stats, okay? I'm really hoping this has answered that question to you in a good way, you know. I mean, like I said, the numbers don't lie. It's pretty straightforward on that front, okay? And that's basically going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy it and enjoyed my analysis of it. If you think I'm wrong, then please put in the comments. I'd love to know if I'm wrong, although I don't think I am. And if you've got any other questions that you'd like to ask or me to look into, then put them down. I'll happily look into them for you. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button. And for now, guys, as always, peace out.